Is it spring yet?
These guys are all working that, all worried about that. It is what it is.
Yeah. It is.
Have that kind of cool weather in ours.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not bad. Not bad by any stretch. Just,
We had a week of dry weather. Close to a week.
It is 6:30.
it'll be
You can't get their attention.
warm shortly.
Have to throw it at them. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're ignoring it. Now they're
Call the
paying
meeting to
attention.
order at 6:30. Pledge of allegiance. All stand. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Here. She'll be here. She's on her way. Yep. Present.
Ben Armstead,
Here.
Michael McCanny,
Here.
Ray Burton,
Here.
and Mitchell.
Here.
Leslie, you're right.
Too late.
Okay.
I tried to say hi in a higher pitched voice, but or ear, but
All right. Agenda approval. We have the amended agenda or the changed agenda. Any questions or proposed changes or anything? We have a motion to approve it as presented. I move to approve it.
I'll second.
Moved by Derek, second by Ray. Approve the agenda as presented. Those in favor say aye.
aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Public comment. And this is for only agenda items. So I don't think we have public here for the agenda items. Is that correct? So we'll move on to public hearings, which is none. Approval of minutes from March 11th and April 8th. Can we do them together or should we do them separately?
Well, if we do them together,
If you remember, I had the 2 months mixed in
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
yep, I thought that was good. But on, what was that from, the 8th? I think it's from the 8th.
Yeah.
You said that, I noted the reference to the Clinton River, and that was actually, I think Michael McCanny did that.
Okay.
I mean, not a big deal, I'm sure, but
Okay.
that wasn't me. I just agreed with it.
Oh,
He agreed, yes. Because Clinton River, I did study, and the Clinton River does not come up
Yeah,
here.
that's why I'm pretty sure that was, you brought that to our attention.
It was a minor formatting error, copy and paste.
And under the new business part on also April 8th, it just mentions in here that said we required a conservation easement. I thought they just offered it. I don't think the township anything was requiring that along the strip along the houses that was gonna be in Fagan Road.
no. No, you have to, oh, no.
No,
That's
that
what
they-
offered.
They
Yeah.
offered.
Yeah.
So it says required here. I thought that should be taken out,
Like
so,
offered,
yeah.
yes.
In fact, I didn't think we're allowed to require it if it wasn't part of
No,
the.
they have to offer.
Yep. All right, any other changes or anything else we need to? Do we have a motion to accept it with the minor changes for the 2 minutes from the prior 2 board meetings?
Motion approved.
Moved by Derek, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Chuck. Any discussion? Those in favor of accepting it as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Communications. Get an email, I think, from Pam Jobs. And then we also had the response from McKenna Associates. Does Jacob or Jake, which you prefer, Jake? You want to comment on this first, or? I know you weren't here initially, so you're kind of coming in afterwards.
You don't have to talk about the communication.
I thought we should actually, but I thought this was something that we did spend quite a bit of time in, and the township sounded like they spent quite a bit of time at. And I was kind of disappointed that they did back out. It was a long process, and I know several board members were wanting to accept their, with conditions. And now we've lost the whole deal, which I just,
But Glenn, they were not, did not have a completed application, and the only reason that it even came to you was because she promised, and we shouldn't have done this, she promised she would have the information to us by a certain date. We were counting down the days to get the publication in, and because the public hearing was already set, she wrote the memo. So we probably should have left that out, so it shouldn't even have come to you with it being unfinished. It's a contract between us and the applicant, so it wouldn't have been appropriate to approve it.
okay, but it is something that,
I mean, it's
that was a,
disappointing, yeah.
and disappointing to me, because that plaza originally built and there was a rental place in it already, so it was almost like, why were we even needing to approve it, is, I guess, a little my point was, but. And then a lot of what we talked about is sidewalk, walkway kind of thing, which that said that we were holding up because of that, because we had not made a decision on that. And I talked with Jake on the phone earlier, and it's probably something we should meet with the township board and see where to go with sidewalks and walkways, because some parts of the township, it makes no sense to have required to put them in, and other places it does, and it's not, we need a policy on that. And see what might be out there, because it's really expensive and people already have places of business. It's, some might be a hardship, or even just to start a business to put that in, because it could be quite expensive, so. Anyway, I don't know whether it's appropriate to sometimes set a meeting with the township board, or suggest they discuss what they're looking at for the township and what might be available for grants, or,
Well, you're going through a zoning review, so that those kind of things can be brought up during the next many months
okay.
to go over that.
Yeah.
Well,
Because I think we're all kind of in favor of having walkways, it's just how do we get there?
But I agree, I think in every situation so far where we've had a business come forth and we've had to, accept what they're doing, it seems like the sidewalk seems to be this big, absolutely, because it's big money, that's big money expense for them, and I hate for this sidewalk that we keep calling the sidewalk to kind of nowhere right now, because there's no real plan to it, so I hate to see a business now lost because honestly, it was a sidewalk that we were hold up on. I mean, I know that there was an application
I don't
problem.
think the
Yeah.
sidewalk
There's
is a
much
problem.
more
I-
to
It was,
There's
there's one.
there's quite a list here, so yeah. I
Yeah.
think,
All right, any other comment about the communications? Old business, proposed planning commission bylaw amendments. I assume Jake would be the one to speak on this?
You're in the headlight looking at me, I'm thinking.
I don't have a lot of the background on this, how this came before you, but Alexis had put together some revisions to the bylaws that addresses procedures, appointment of members, conflict of interest, duties, meetings, the annual report schedule. Again, I don't have the background on this.
Okay.
I'm hoping that you've all taken a look at this and can come to a decision or have discussion on what should change.
Just seemed like I saw several things in here that I thought we talked about that to me weren't resolved or what.
Yeah, I thought we were still waiting on some answers to a few of these.
She was supposed to, get with the attorney and,
That was pretty much conflict of interest, I thought was mainly that.
she made whatever revision was suggested, so.
So on page 2, on section 2.1, appointment of members, it talks about serving without compensation. We do get paid, so that doesn't seem like that's accurate.
Oh, I'm wondering if you have the right, even the right, version. I didn't.
we're looking at it.
It's unread
I mean-
under the last wording under section 2.1A. I thought we talked about
why
that
is it
before
unread?
too.
Yeah, that needs to be struck.
It's not like we get big pay or
Good
anything,
job,
but
Glenn.
No, yeah.
That was our big cost cutting,
should record it wasn't for a lot of money.
Get rid of
We do get
our-
something.
yeah.
And on B,
It barely covered the, you know,
What it may have meant to be is with versus
oh, could
without.
be.
Yeah, but
Because it's weird that she would,
It was without on the first one too, though, so.
well, that's what I'm saying. She may have tried to change it, but then typed without inadvertently. I think it's a typo more than anything.
Yeah.
Then B, this, in the red part, it's, let's see, who can be a member of the commission? It talks about one could be elector of another local unit of government within the township. Well, that means they would qualify under the other. I think that should mean outside the township.
Yeah.
Yeah, are we sure that these were the right?
I'm not sure if this is
And I hate to say it since we don't have Alexa, I mean, I'm just saying,
Because these are things we talked about before, I remember too.
These are
Yeah.
things that you guys already addressed.
But we're not sure how they were changed. I don't have a lot of other changes. You want me to go on to a couple other things? Or are we gonna,
Yeah, I would since, yeah, Jake is here, so he'll be leading it at this point, right?
Yep.
so the next page, on page 3, the term for 3 years, but then we come down to, that was under A. In B, it says, a member shall hold office until his or her successor is appointed. Seems like that means if you don't appoint somebody, you could be on for many more years.
Or, yeah, I think it's to give leeway for a couple months, you know, like, remember, we didn't do them in January, it was, I think, February or March.
I don't, just seem like that should,
Before the new appointments were available to start.
seem like there should
Yeah,
be
that could
something
be-
added to that or something about that, because it just seems, I don't know. That's not too much of a problem, but. And then under section 2.3, removal of a member, right in the middle of B, and the old wording, and added, if absent more than 2 meetings without a valid excuse shall be removed. But then it goes on to say, at the discretion of the township board. Seems like it should be one or the other, but, or is it saying that you
The township board
could be
is the
re-
only one that can do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think they have to actually, make the motion and pass it, that member be removed from the,
So that's actually at the discretion of the
yes, it
board
gives
then,
them the
okay.
discretion to decide whether or not it is
Okay.
applicable.
Because I kind of stopped there, but it's true if you follow on through, because I thought it stopped at shall be removed. But then it's at the
Yeah.
discretion of the township
Yeah.
board. So, okay, I agree with that one.
Yep.
And I think, I know we talked about the one on page 4 for officer duties, and that's elections, and it says first meeting of January, but I think it just should be either as determined by the commission or the first meeting of the year, or something like that, because
Right.
like this
Yeah, we
January, we
talked
didn't
about
have a
that
meeting.
before.
We talked about it.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
If it just says first meeting of the year, or the new year or something, it seemed like it would be clear. And some question that, but I don't know what that was now.
So what happened to special meetings?
Yeah, it looked like they took it out completely, right?
So is that still something you would call for us then?
Yes,
So that doesn't need to be in here, that you'd be the one that does it?
I guess I'm not sure where you're at.
page
Page
7,
Page 7.
special meetings.
They took out everything.
I mean, we don't have very many special meetings, but we probably should have a way to do them.
I don't remember us discussing that, do you remember, anybody?
We kind of talked about, because what it said before was Glenn could just have, what, you contact two of us and we could
Yeah,
draw a special
something
meeting.
like
But
that,
we
yeah.
talked about the fact it would always go through you. So that's probably what she was trying to do here, but I'm thinking that probably it should still be the fact that, you know, the township clerk could call a special meeting with,
Or the zoning administrator,
Yeah.
really would be
Yeah.
the,
yeah. Well, this looks like we can't have special meetings, which would be okay with me.
And I know we talked about it on going back to page 5 under secretary, I think. No, yeah. Secretary has lots of duties here, but it seemed like it should start right out, or township employee or something. I think later on it does kind of deal with that, but not when it deals with secretary duties.
you know, we talked about that, it was gonna be, or designee.
Yeah, but I don't think it says it in the part that's mainly talks about secretary. It lists lots of things the secretary may oversee, but isn't really doing as secretary. I found out who the secretary was. He's shushing me over here.
Yeah, that doesn't seem feasible.
So anyway, that just needs to be updated to, I think, to start out with something that it could be appointed with a township employee. Anything else notice? Should have gone back to my other meeting because I know I had lots of notes on this as well on this.
Well, it looks like
before.
looks like it's getting closer.
Can you look at those and then get back with me or send me your notes?
Okay, I can go back and look and see what I did on the
Yeah,
other
see
one.
if
'Cause
there's
I'm-
anything else that you didn't say today.
Anything else? I assume we're just tabling this until the next meeting. Is that what we would be doing? And
Action.
just take no action, I believe then that's what we would be doing. On to new business. Draft ordinance amendment for data centers. That went on and on, too. Seems too much almost to. And since this is all new to pretty much everybody. is
Well,
there-
there's enough traffic to start looking at this stuff.
Yeah, Farm Bureau was saying that.
I think it's
that there
it's
could be up to
misclassified.
250 data centers in Michigan based on projections.
So,
And what are they looking at? Areas where there's power, water, and people, and, well, actually like
the
communications or your
difference
data.
between 5 megawatts and 100 megawatts and bigger than, how much is that?
Seems like
It's like
a bigger
5
number.
orders of
Seems
magnitude
like a
different.
lot.
I mean,
Yeah, it's-
well, they called that out here, and I'm just
Yeah,
curious
medium,
what that
5
big
to
difference
100.
is. So we don't know. You should know.
Bigger, and biggest.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the question, so.
So, when she describes the different ones here, below 5 megawatts and 5 megawatts to 100 megawatts, and ones that are over 100 megawatts. So, does that reference like the size of the building? That it would be this big of a building because it's gonna use this much more power? I mean, how much power is 100 megawatts?
Ooh, I can't answer that, I'm not.
Well, I'm just curious. I mean, it's referencing the size of the data centers, and I just thought, I mean, you know, is that the,
How many kilowatts?
does
are
the
in a
town of
megawatt?
Holly use 100 megawatts? Is that an entire village? I mean,
It's a
the
lot of
city of
power.
Flint? I mean,
It's a small country, yeah.
Yeah. it's a lot.
That is not a question I can answer for you, unfortunately. I can follow up with information if you want.
Is there
oh, well, I'm just,
100 kilowatts in the
because it's broke down in those different size things of, you know,
It's a million watts.
small, medium, and
Right.
hyper scale.
100 million
I
watts.
just was curious what the big difference would be,
House runs
but.
One of the
10,000.
bigger question will be is, does it have any actual impact on the average homeowner?
We can start.
Because if
Do we,
it's a
do we
gazillion,
need to fire up
kilowatts, who
chat
cares?
garage
It
or
doesn't
something?
affect
We
anybody.
can-
I would agree, and I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's just,
I just know in relation to.
you hear the news thing, you know, oh, the hum, da-da-da, well, you know, you don't want constant humming in your backyard, you know, if you had a humming that was a half mile away and you could hear it when you went to bed at night, it would bother
For
you.
sure. That's what I mean, that's so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
they've got
Facts of it, I really don't, the numbers.
they've got
are all-
pollution on all
I do want to
fronts,
point out,
yeah.
we have a train that goes somewhere near our houses to get used to that.
If the train comes and goes, I mean, if you had a constant.
Everyone loves a train,
You
though.
know, if you had
Everybody.
that bump,
Well,
you couldn't discern where it came from, and it came after they built that, what are you gonna do? I mean, so.
Or affected,
A power plant,
I-
100 megawatts,
So a megawatt is
Yeah.
1 million watts.
so 100 million
What
watts.
does that
I-
mean?
But that doesn't give us any, like, size reference.
So it's not a 20-watt bulb.
I can
Sorry, I couldn't resist. Right.
What's the typical community use? They talk about some of these
Right,
things are
yeah.
using more power than anybody can generate. I don't know.
all right, we should probably all be together on this, not talking on our own.
I would agree. So,
It's a mess.
And probably my biggest concern, you know, obviously there's concern current, but what happens when this is outdated? And that's why I saw they had decommissioning and, but that, I wonder how many people, or how many, well, there's a lot of money involved with these, but that's a lot of money to put aside to decommission it or to remove the, but that would be one of my biggest concerns is technology changes so quickly. These are outdated within just a few years.
2 to 5
What's gonna
years.
happen?
Yeah,
And it
that's,
And they're over not just 1 or 2 acres, most of these are 50, 100 acres or more.
yes.
So they're big
I seen the
footprints,
setbacks.
yeah.
and it references putting in extra bathrooms because they don't need bathroom stuff, but it doesn't matter. It'd be a big building that so had extra bathrooms, it would not be repurposed or anything. So it could be a big cement hulk 20, 30, 40 years from now. That's a problem. I don't think that.
Yeah,
Sounds like.
there's many immediate concerns,
Yeah.
but it looks like that was addressed in here, but, there's just so much here too. that- And right now, we have a moratorium by the township, correct? The township ordinance that, not to accept data centers at this point.
How long can that last for?
It was for 6 months, but I think we can extend it. I'm not sure how long the extension can go for.
So if somebody really wanted to
Before,
bring a data
before
center
we end
here-
up in court,
Yeah, so they would take that in court.
essentially.
Sure.
So I think it runs to August 1st right now.
So I guess what's the ultimate objective? Are we trying to limit what is brought here or say no to everything? What's the,
Well,
what's the
I think,
ultimate agenda?
well, use of the name data center is old, right? So the old data centers of the 90s, most of the ordinances in the area were written for those type data centers, and those are generally pretty quiet, very
Rooms
low
like this have
distribution
servers
with
in
any
them, yeah, or
problems,
nothing.
unless the generators kick on.
Right.
This is a new classification of almost like a new industry, and I don't even think anybody knows the consequences of having one of these in the area, right? Everything, the light, sound, water interruption, power corruption, it's just, who knows what it is, so I think it's
believe there's been some reported in North
misidentified.
Carolina and I think Virginia have some that would be comparable to this. And there
Yeah.
is still concerns in those areas where they are, I think.
Yeah, and we don't even know the downstream effects of these things. Like you just mentioned, I didn't think about the toxic contents. What happens if there is a exothermic event that causes something to come out of that area, what do we do? But anyway, I think it's a new industry, it just needs more definitions, so. It's another reason why they're racing in to try to get underneath the tent and up and running before anybody can go, wait, what? So,
And we're talking lots of dollars here because the companies are coming in with lots of money apparently to put these things in. And I assume we have to have something where we allow them. I assume that's one of the things that townships have run into problem before. If you just disallow something, that they can come in and use the court to force us to allow them to go where they want to probably.
well, and it might need to be put into that situation so that these things can be brought to light and brought out in discovery and find out what really
Township
is
can't
going on.
afford too many of those
I was gonna
things.
say, that's a lawsuit,
Well,
long time.
Yeah.
I don't think we should be buckling when somebody threatens to sue us. It's not appropriate to use lawfare to get what you want.
I agree with that.
And we don't have any, right now, we're pretty far ahead of the curve. At least we have something drafted here.
I mean, I thought it had a lot of safeties and stuff built into it that I wasn't even aware of. Actually reading through it, I thought, it's put together pretty decent overall, you know what I mean? Like the 10-foot berms and stuff.
It
like
seems
that,
to be-
and other things, like they had
Yeah.
a lot of provisions in there, kind of making sure things were taken care of, not getting out of hand. But I have nothing to compare it to.
That's the thing.
Not anybody does, right?
You know, it's like,
And also the issue too is when you
are we
start,
too strict, are we not strict enough? I'm not sure.
but when you start
Yeah.
adding complications and you start trying to write down common sense,
Yeah.
you
Thought that-
inadvertently create unintended consequences just because of everything that's in it. I mean, as soon as we're up to page, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages? I mean, this could look like the Formula One rule book, you know? It's like 4 inches thick. of-
So is this
Thou
taken
shalts.
from someplace else, or is this written specifically for Holly Township, or?
I'm assuming Alexis wrote this specifically for you.
So she billed you about 24 hours and ran it through
I can
ChatGPT
more
and
than
printed
that.
it out.
We should probably stick it in the chat.
Yeah, you
and see
totally
what
stick
she
in
comes
chat,
up
say,
with.
what's this thing missing that I should be worried about in Holly Township, and it'll tell you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as it's trained
You're a
right.
lot smarter than I am, that's for sure.
Commissioner number 8.
Kind of funny though to be using ChatGPT and
About a data center?
for a data center. I'm just saying it's kind of an oxymoron kind of thing.
Yeah, it might be.
Well, fortunately,
it
they're not
might
thinking
be.
for themselves yet.
I was
They
gonna
might
say-
go different answers.
But that's Grok.
You're like, no problems at all. No problems.
Yeah, this looks
Right.
great.
It's great.
What does the commission want to do something at this meeting with it? Because there's a lot of information in it, or should we wait?
No, I think this is just showing us that we've got something cooking.
Any direction? Is there anything that people notice that it should have or shouldn't have in there? I guess would be the question.
I guess I'm still trying to find out the ultimate agenda. Are we looking to make sure we word it in such a way that data centers don't want to ever come here? Or are we saying they can come here, but we want to make sure they're super tiny? What's the outcome?
Just make sure it's in
Make sure-
harmony
Make sure
with
they're
Valley
good
Township.
neighbors.
It's not shaking.
Yeah,
Ray's-
define
It's not
that. I
shaking
mean,
Ray's house. He doesn't feel the ground vibrations from it or anything like that, where, you know, they're not affecting other people, I guess.
So the township can't flat out prevent
Right.
data centers from existing, right? It would go against the state statutes for exclusionary zoning. So you have to figure out where are these appropriate, and what are the standards we will require from them.
I guess what I'm asking directly is, do we want to make it so extreme that it's like, yes, you can come here, of course, but you got to meet every single one of these criteria, which is nearly impossible. And if you do meet them, though, we'll say, okay.
Well, that's up
Or are we saying we're looking for tax money, we want to let these places in here so we can get more money? Right? Isn't that the two sides?
And this is my opinion, but I believe the state of Michigan higher-ups are encouraging this because it's gonna be a lot of tax money comes in.
There's
You're gonna pay a lot of
taxes,
taxes
requesting the
and
tax incentives.
to some extent, not a big draw on, I guess, local resources. To build it, there's a lot of stuff going on, but once they're there, not many people run it, from what I understand.
Other
And,
than
Yeah,
water
like
and
12
electricity.
yeah, there's other things they use, but it's not people.
Not a lot of people. but a lot of
So
water
they have a
and
low
electricity.
impact once they're in, other than the issues with the
Yeah.
power and water, which just amazed the numbers I've seen
But
for
didn't
water.
they say the same thing about bringing marijuana? And I haven't seen any better roads yet, so I don't know. Just throwing it out there, but.
They're
It
busy.
sounds like such a carrot, it's like, oh, well, there's tax money we're gonna get. Well, do we get it? My taxes never, didn't get lowered.
Well, they did, but they forgot to tell you that every dollar they put in, they take out the other side.
Right.
Use it for free money.
Is the water going to be a closed loop system, or are they going to continue to pump to cool? Those are the kind of things that.
Right.
Yeah. And what happens with the water that's used and where it goes, and how they,
Recirculate or
Well,
something.
the main, the
and I
closed
think
loop,
that's,
Cool it, close it,
For all the areas around them, it's an environmental.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm sure the state's got, you know, they've already got some guidelines laid out for that, just in the environmental part of it, that they,
The other thing that they look for is a guarantee that the community's power is not being siphoned off.
Right.
sure,
Power outages power this.
right.
And what you would recommend is enough backup power to get through the likely power outages of the community so our residents don't suffer, so that they can continue to operate. Those are the kind of things.
We like your input, but you probably, well, if we don't have a
Are we
microphone.
at
Yeah.
that point?
I mean, obviously,
We have another comment too. This is really not the right place, but yeah, do you have a,
Well, I mean, I was gonna hold it till the end.
yeah. Is this about data centers?
It It's relevant.
Well, let's wait till the end. That's the proper place.
It's all feedback.
I don't think we're making a decision today, is that correct?
No,
No, we need more time to really get into it a
yeah,
little
there's
bit more.
nothing to decide.
So anything that you give us
Exactly.
direction that we should be looking at in particular of this, is there something that other communities have had problems with or lawsuits about that we know of? So new that probably not much has happened with.
Do some research.
So I think again, if I could throw a little something in here, is figuring out how to strike the balance to make sure that we protect our natural resources and what we have within the community here, and at the same time, create the opportunity for a potential to be here, but making darn sure that we have everything set up so that it's not having a direct impact to the community.
Right.
So you have a data center that comes in, because we can't restrict it from not coming in. However, we've got to make sure we have enough things in place that they can't skirt around anything that we have set up as a guideline that's going to directly impact water waste, power usage, having the grid split off so that it takes, the data center has their own power coming to it that doesn't have any impact on the community. I mean, I don't know how that looks, I don't know how that even works, but that's what's running through my mind is, let's make sure it's got what it needs, but at the same time, the big thing is to make sure it doesn't have an impact on us in the community. Noise, which is the other thing, you know. We have a great mix within the township. We do have designated areas, industrial and such, that probably make sense, but I have a feeling what's gonna come up is, and I've read a few, just enough articles that that's typically not where they wanna go. They wanna go somewhere where they gotta change the zoning, and they need a bigger parcel of land, so we need to be very cognizant of that as well. Can we do that, and how would we do that? So we might even look at our map to say what would be a place we could anticipate that might come in if it does show up someday. And
Old
could
gravel
we,
pits.
would that be conducive to, and how can we make it so that it's plausible without getting ourselves into a legal battle? So, my thoughts on it.
Well, we usually want businesses to come here because you want them
What's
to bring
that?
jobs.
These don't
Exactly.
bring
Bringing
jobs.
jobs.
That
These
doesn't
don't bring jobs.
They don't
We
bring
have
any
nobody
jobs.
there.
It doesn't
Just somewhere
benefit
out
anyone
there.
for the person that owns the
They
data center.
just-
Construction
It
phase,
doesn't
it brings a lot of jobs after that, no.
Then it's done, yeah.
That's true. When you buy some-
Yeah, all-
I assume the main thing it'd bring is a lot of tax money, revenue.
And that's what the state's looking at, is
Well, what taxes are they paying besides property tax?
for the whole building. They pay
Building
it.
and the
Personal
condos,
property
I mean,
taxes.
yeah,
That's the property.
all that property tax and all the stuff in the building.
My guess
That's
it
gotta be
would
pretty
be,
expensive stuff.
We don't get a benefit from that, the state does,
Right.
but
I
we
think the
don't.
local communities benefit from personal property tax as well
Yeah, I was gonna say,
directly.
I've sent a lot of township tax
Okay.
So anyway, we don't want to prolong this too long, so
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
deal with it next meeting.
Yeah.
Any direction, anything we want to ask to have answered as far as, can we, it was mentioned about restricting locations for this. Is that something that we can do without a problem?
Yeah, we can.
Locations in terms of districts or actual site locations?
Well, districts, they'd already be restricted, wouldn't they be?
Right, so right now it's permitted in the LS and LI districts. The proposal in front of you has that removing the permitted use in the OS. It has it removing the permitted use in both of those, but it changes the requirement to be a special land use permit in both of the industrial districts.
right.
In terms of location of the site, you go to site design standards, you're talking about 500-foot setbacks, you know, screening stuff in place, fencing. I mean, what are you thinking? Is the 500 not enough? Is it?
Well, I think the original thing was restricted to certain areas, but it's right, it's because of the zoning, it's going to be restricted into that to begin with. You mentioned LS and LI, what does that mean? I don't remember.
Sorry, limited industrial and then general industrial.
Right. So the zoning, so it's, and if I'm understanding it right, it really would be two-prong approach. The first being, it would have to be zoned, whatever property Because the property may not be where they want, the site may not be already in one of our zonings that we currently have set up. It could be somewhere else where we would have to give permission for that. And then have to zone it in that accordance, right? So if it's, say they've got a large parcel of agricultural land that's right off of Dixie Highway, I'm just gonna pull an example out. But it's not, it's agricultural, but it fits what their criteria they need to build the data center. We would have to look at that, and could we do that change of zoning?
So you'd be relying on the master plan and future land use too, to make sure that that is.
Because I could almost guarantee they're not gonna go into our industrial district unless they wanna buy the whole light industrial on Dixie Highway and buy all those warehouses up and put it in there. Probably don't have the space for it, so they're gonna end up looking somewhere else where we're gonna have to look at our master plan and look at the change of zoning. Because I would assume they're gonna want quite a few acres for this, for a data center.
It is. If you're saying it's permissible by special land use within certain districts, it is not your job or responsibility to create more of that district for them.
We may have to, is what I'm saying.
No.
That's what I'm asking. Would we have to do that? Or do we give the criteria that would be what we set as a standard that would be in those two zonings? But we would have to, because chances are we're gonna have to go to a special use, because they're gonna be in some other zone, other area, right?
So let's say, using your example, if we're talking about, and I forget what you said. Let's say there's no property available.
Correct.
And they have another site that is agricultural, and that would fit their needs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your responsibility to change that zoning for this use.
Okay.
You've identified where you're allowing. You wouldn't rezone that unless it was consistent with the master plan's future land use.
Okay. But we would be required to look at this as a potential special use.
Within the LI and GI districts.
I see that might be a problem long-term for us to have to battle, but I like it because it restricts,
Would you have
it restricts,
You don't have a map, I don't know where the battle would be.
well, I'm looking at it from the other side, is you got a small area for industrial and light industrial, general and light, but it's not, none of it's big enough for what we want to do. Then you don't go there? You don't go to that township?
Yeah, they're gonna go.
Is that gonna be enough to stand up in court? Okay, that's kind of where I'm getting at. Do we have to accept something that if they have Farmer Bob's 500 acres sitting off of Dixie Highway, and that's a perfect place, access, power, water, everything is perfect for that, do we have to accommodate because it's zoned agricultural versus what we've already designated as light industrial and general industrial?
Is it supported by the master plan for that specific property to be rezoned to from agricultural?
Only if it is, right? That's what you're
It's not in
saying,
alignment, it's not in alignment.
in the master plan, which would, chances are would not be. So, okay, good. It's just what comes in my head is,
Not your fault if properties are unavailable.
no, I know that. I'm just saying, but I could see where they might want to because it's ideal. That's, because this is perfect. Access, all the things that we need. We got a power grid that's there we can tap off of, water resources, everything is there for us to be able to do it here, but we have it zoned agricultural.
We have a zone agricultural, we have a future land use that identifies this as, I'm assuming agricultural or whatever.
Right, probably, most likely, or general, or business even, but not industrial, if it's right on, say, on Dixie Highway.
It may be perfect for your proposed situation, but it's not supported by anything the township has.
So it would come back to us to make a decision on whether we want to deviate from our master plan. If they were coming to us with that proposal.
And I
We
guess
we would have the
experiences-
power to choose whether or not to
Is
allow
data
that.
centers going in places? Have they had this issue? Because The one in Saline, it sounded like that probably was zoned agriculture. I don't really know, because it was several hundred acres and it was actively farmed and that, so did they just,
They use in that district that they allow.
okay, so it would be their zoning regulations might have allowed it, or they got special use for that. Okay,
Cool. All right.
moving on, so.
Thanks.
That's
Sorry, I didn't
also-
mean to stretch that out, but I just,
Yep.
understanding of this.
Definition of plant nurseries, greenhouses, and farm buildings. Yes, Jake, you can,
Oh, I was just wondering, what,
We're gonna wait till next month.
okay, is there anything I need to provide for next month? Any
again, that was what I was kind of asking, is what more
That's what I
information
thought
do
we
we
were,
need?
yeah.
We discussed mostly that, the zoning issue, that, not until the end, sorry. We can come back to it.
When's the master plan gonna be officially
We did that last year.
approved? No, but like official, is it done? It's not
I think the
done.
master
They-
plan has been
Yeah,
approved.
didn't
We
they-
have to-
didn't they vote on
we have
that
to
last month?
Re-advise
that-
it if we need to change anything at this point.
These are just,
Or 20,
Right.
oh, yeah.
Okay, then we're still,
master plans.
You're talking.
Yeah, the master.
The master plan was 2024.
Right, right.
Okay.
But that was all approved,
well,
right?
but there's a proposed master plan is changing all the property on the north side of North Holly Road.
That's ordinance.
That's just future.
Right, that's
Future
future.
land, the future land use doesn't really change until we really do the zoning changes, so that's,
So it doesn't apply for years.
Yeah, but
no.
we're not gonna be doing the zoning changes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
Right.
not that I'm aware of, but we've talked to our attorney, and so I think there was a misunderstanding with Alexis about, there wasn't good communication about that.
Okay, well, because that builds on what he was saying, it's just like what's available, what's not available, so,
Right.
okay, good,
master plan was adopted in August of 2024.
Right.
right. So that's what we would reference, if these guys come to us and say, hey, I want to build a data center here, it's like, well, sorry,
Well,
for
but
2024,
what we,
that's not zoned correctly.
what we actually adopted then was basically the future land use. We didn't really make any changes, right? I don't think we changed anything. So it's just future land use, which really is future land use, but nothing got changed. And it
Actual
doesn't
zoning
mean
did get changed. Actual zoning didn't get changed.
it- Right, it's just,
Just a concept plan for the future.
correct. It's the way they want to move forward to, but yeah, but we didn't actually change any zoning.
And there's no agenda for that to be changed anytime soon.
Yeah, like, are we doing the real?
And that would be more like special land use, but you'd say the master plan says that's what
That's the
it's.
future of that, but.
It's confusing the hell out of me.
It is, yeah, but it's the way they're leaning toward, but still, you have to make, the zoning has to change.
And there's no
It does-
plans to change, do it.
No, it's just the future.
Okay, thank you.
Really,
That's
all
what's-
we updated was the future.
I think everybody's overthinking it.
Right.
All right, yep. All right, let's move forward. So next meeting, we will make a decision on that.
So that's not changing this year.
Well, I think,
I think we need to just pay attention to any other litigation or developments out in the field that they're privy to, so we can add it in and find out.
I was hoping to get some direction for that.
Yeah, so we can just find out if our ordinance is gonna be enough.
Yeah,
I
and
think there's some things moving right now, so
Yep.
they're not done yet.
a lot of people talking about it, so. All right, on to the definition of plant nurseries, greenhouses, and farm buildings. And sadly, I got bogged down before this, because I didn't get to read this very completely. So can you update us what we're really looking at here? I see by the definition,
We have, a lot of questions surrounding, and we don't have a definition, so we can't give an answer. And then a lot of it is, born from Sprouts being for sale. And so, there's a lot of questions that can purchasers, you know,
Yeah.
potential purchasers, that because we didn't have definition, we could not actually answer if that use was appropriate there or not. So we need to have this on the books in order to. give
I see.
the idea is the ones, at least before them, was grandfathered in, because it's been that way for 50 years probably, they're correct. Now, what would the next owner have to do? Is that kind of what we're looking at, or anybody else?
It, like nurseries are allowed in the AGRE district, which is that district. But we don't know what that was because there was no definition in the ordinance. Well, and farm buildings too, we didn't have one for those either.
Again, is this taken from someplace else, or was just put together just for us kind of things? Do we know that, or probably don't? Okay.
Well, I mean, it must be for just us, because, I mean, it's our ordinance, and the amendments are to our ordinance. I'm sure she looked at definitions
Yeah,
from other communities.
Yeah, I'm sure she compared definitions, but the change is just just adding it, setting, what the setback
What it
requirements
is.
would be, preventing, the materials from blowing on the properties, and then,
Right.
the stipulation of must grow goods and materials offered for sale on site. You know, this is specifically tailored to what was already existing.
And then we need to set a public hearing.
I thought that everything grew on site that was more applying to basically a farm stand
Yeah.
situation.
That
That's a
would be-
whole different.
Right, but, I mean, not very many greenhouses would grow their own stuff on site in this area. I mean,
Right.
We have a select one that does.
Very few places would grow all the stuff they're able to
They-
sell if they're gonna
they
stay in
buy.
business.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying, I mean, it wouldn't seem like that would apply to a typical greenhouse that's, I mean, they're everywhere, but nobody grows their stuff there.
But
But we need a definition, because we have that nurseries allowed in the AGRE district.
Okay.
So you need to define them.
Right,
But
but
that-
I would think that'd be like, that said you cannot come here if you had to grow any percentage of your stuff there. I mean, it's just not a.
it doesn't define how much, it just says must grow goods and materials offered for sale on site. Well, that's pretty
Yeah.
vague,
Says
which
if
is,
you're-
Am I assuming Alexis is we're gonna talk to her next month about this? Is that what the?
Set a public hearing.
Are you just recommending to strike 5C? Is that the concern?
No, I'm not recommending to strike anything. I'm just saying it just.
But
The
based
reality
on
is
what
very-
it's saying is that you have to grow it in order to sell it.
and if you're that restrictive, you're not gonna have hardly anything.
Then
that's
you're gonna
qualify.
wipe out the greenhouses that are currently active
I mean,
and anything coming forward, because they don't grow most of theirs. They buy it already grown.
correct.
Are we talking about-
Flowers,
are we talking about
plants.
just- I'm sorry, are we talking about flowers or
So
talking about
shouldn't
weed?
this-
Are we talking marijuana and stuff too?
No.
That doesn't count at all with
No,
this.
no.
Nothing to do with
I'm
this.
hoping weeds in a whole different category.
Is it? 'Cause
I understand.
It doesn't say that, it's specific what you gotta grow. A grower's a grower.
You are correct, but they still have separate guidelines they have separate licenses they have to get, so we're gonna hope that has nothing to do with this. That would really muddy the waters.
So you just change must to can.
Right.
Well, then you might.
Yeah,
as
I
well
Is there
don't
grow
some
know.
it.
other
I don't know what
ordinance
the
that doesn't
exact
allow you to
verbiage
grow
would be,
stuff?
but,
We don't have one of those
Totally understand that.
silly ordinances, you can't grow food, do we? That's-
Right,
That's really
right.
retarded.
Import things to your, I think strike C.
First
C's no good.
C is no good, you don't like C.
I don't like C.
He doesn't like C.
Well, just not practical, otherwise you're not gonna allow anything.
Right,
Well, just
I mean-
because it's gonna limit everything to
Yeah,
way too much.
Especially if you open year round, you just can't
Like,
grow
Now, I'd
every
agree,
year round.
Like,
the
you
must
got
could
that, like-
easily say can.
You can
The-
grow mold
and
all
if
year
you
round.
want-
They
some
grow
stuff.
Christmas trees, they don't grow the Christmas trees there.
You're absolutely
They
correct.
sell them.
right, right.
That's what I'm saying, I mean,
Right.
if
Well, that's what
this
I'm
is
saying,
we
you're-
adopt, this would eliminate them from.
Yeah,
doing
they be,
anything.
you can't have Christmas trees
Now-
because they're not grown on site.
All right, we should probably.
But I don't think it's saying it has, everything you sell there has to be grown there is
Well,
what
this
I.
one did.
Right, so.
Yeah, it says must grow goods and material, but not all of the goods and
It doesn't
all of-
define, yeah.
Yes, it doesn't define that you, I mean, because even the local farm, they sell, I mean, I'm thinking like Lamont, I mean, they grow some stuff there, but he brings stuff there
Very
too,
low.
so
I
that's
I'd
where
be
it falls
really,
into.
the C is very gray.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it needs addressing.
Something,
It
yeah,
needs
yeah.
to be massaged, is a good correction.
Are you saying they have to grow all of their,
That's not how it reads.
Right, that's what I'm asking.
But it doesn't,
So, yeah.
but I feel like it's not being specific enough.
Yeah, when it says must, it sounds like you know,
Yes.
it makes it a little more.
I know it doesn't say must all,
Yeah.
but it says must grow goods and materials. There are some nurseries that don't grow any.
The ones that are offered for sale.
And would that restrict them from actually being in business on ag? That's kind of what pops out to me is,
Go past it. Scratch it, next.
If they grow one flower and sell it, doesn't that count as growing?
You think that the other way around would be a
No,
commercial
no, I'm just
space.
saying, one flower.
They
And
would
it's more
maintain them, they'd keep
supply
them alive while
instead of a
they're
nursery.
brought into them.
So you're trying to decide the difference between a
They didn't
plant
put the seeds in
supplier
pots, you know?
and a nursery that grows there. And if you're gonna have people coming in out of a residential area,
Can we have some
but
examples?
but you're addressing
This right now.
loose soil and fertilizer
I'm sorry, what?
that needs to be recovered in B, but then on C,
Just west of Fish Lake Road there.
Right.
yeah, I don't know.
It used to be an old farm stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, then they got sold, and when they got sold, it really didn't fit into the whole zone of the area.
Right.
So that's the problem. It's a business that's in agriculture.
Right.
So would it be normal for the township to have an ordinance that they must grow, or
It's non.
I would say-
The best way to phrase.
very few farm markets grow more than a small portion of what they sell. There's exceptions, but almost all of them to have a variety of products that,
Right.
would have to, and of course, I'm seeing their ideas, then they're just a retail location, they're just a store. But I guess I'm looking, what's the problem with that? If they're still are selling agriculture
I
products?
got you a future zoning map. I didn't bring my book. Future zoning map.
I don't believe Sprouts currently, I mean, what that was there before was growing anything there.
Got it where they have,
They were growing anything there, it was all brought in,
yeah,
so.
years ago that was true.
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
think
but I
that's-
mean, the last few owners, it's not been something that's been grown, even when it was
Flowers in there.
burnt or
this is the
whatever it was
future,
before that, I
this
don't
is the
think they were
current
growing
one.
there.
But mainly it's defining it as a nursery or greenhouse because of the building and their selling.
What they're selling is
Yeah.
defining that.
So,
Yeah.
Future zoning map.
Get rid of the
that
growing
area
thing.
Could be totally
it should
different,
be
but I don't know
specifically
if it
to
is.
them, they're under
Yeah.
judgment.
That's just our example, we don't have.
I don't, I thought I did, I thought it was in here, but I guess not.
Isn't it just the
And
folder in
wants
the
to
front,
do it as a
pocket of the
full-time
front
nursery.
cover?
Zoning ordinance, swear I saw that one in here before, but maybe not.
Why we want that
Let me see if I've got it in the front. Oh, wait.
that's different from this.
And then when it goes on like the setbacks.
Let's see if it's not in
So
here.
like the setbacks on AG, you know, if it's AGRE or whatever, your setbacks off the road to the building or something, what are they saying though? Because is it like the setbacks are like, okay, they got a bunch of pumpkins laying out there, they have to still maintain that
That's Village
setback.
Future.
So what they're selling, right, is that,
Sales in the front yard.
so the sales are considered where the building setback is? Cause I mean, it doesn't actually, in the zoning, doesn't say like setback to goods or, you know, or things like that. It just says setback, building must be X amount off the road. So I think that would be how far their pumpkins could be close to the road, I guess, or whatever. I know
I
that
don't
was,
have that answer off the top of
Okay.
my head. That would be a site plan thing and done through the application.
right, okay, that's what I know it mentioned setbacks, I just didn't know if they had anything specific for their goods that they're trying to sell.
I can't think of anything offhand.
Cause I could understand that, cause I know how people, they,
And sell out of the front yard,
Right.
so that would mean anything in the front of the building.
It's
right, I know how they do that, they lay everything out.
Site plan.
top.
I
But
got
for
it,
the
I got
road,
everything
they
else.
change zoning,
I
that's
got
what
everything else in here.
You know.
All right, we get too many off the topic.
Oh, there it is.
And this also would be dealing with agritourism, is this the purpose of this as well, to deal with that at all, or? Because we had a separate ordinance on that, and you mentioned, it's mentioned in the front page.
We didn't
Okay.
have these are just definitions.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So strike C and keep the rest and give them definitions so they can run the business?
I think the
See,
definitions
I
were-
think it
they
just,
had
see,
those.
needs modification.
Yeah, modify it or.
Well, I think the idea is you'd want the intent that they would grow at least a portion of what they sold, but
Can or
this
cannot
is,
grow on
yeah.
premises, sure.
that's the idea in AGRE. If you're just gonna be
Right.
reselling, then it's a retail location.
Not
It's
arguing,
kind
I'm
of,
just saying,
yeah.
that to me, that was, the whole farm stand thing
Yep.
was a separate thing.
Yep.
This appears that, you know, it had a similar restriction. Are we supposed to take real action on that tonight, or are we?
Yeah.
Well, I hate to postpone everything, but I think we,
No, so you have to go to public hearing.
oh,
Okay.
okay.
But then it does say here, I mean, it's specific that the storage and display areas have to comply with the minimum setback requirements.
Right, and I
Right.
guess just the setback requirements are usually not, you know, they usually say like the building can be here and outbuilding from here. I don't know if they had anything on
So
other
it would be in
services.
the ag district, it'd be 75 feet from the
Yep.
road, yeah.
Okay,
Right.
yeah.
So just to go back to, the
Like I
black
said,
is
it's a big
already
idea.
in our
Yeah.
ordinance already, the red is
Yeah.
all we're changing really? Is that
Yes.
what I'm saying? It says for the further proposed addition in red below.
They are,
The definitions are all new.
that
Yeah,
should
it's,
be-
everything's all new, I guess it's just what recently was changed, I'm not sure. Cause the data center was totally new, the whole thing.
Yep, that was the data center. so
That's what we
already-
do, but the one for the nurseries and greenhouses, that's just the red is the new stuff, correct? The rest we already have.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So there isn't a lot of changes then, other than the C that we're talking about.
Yeah. Everything else,
All right.
good.
So then we would expect to have public hearing next meeting then on this, or should we?
Well, yeah, and then if you still, if there's still an issue
Question.
with the revisions that you can do, then you just postpone it another month that you've had your hearing.
But we're not gonna do a public hearing on the
So-
data centers, correct?
I don't think you guys are ready yet.
Not new,
I'm-
not
I'm-
close.
I wanna be sure. Okay, all right.
But we will be doing that then as well. I
Yes.
guess. Okay, so that will,
Jacob, can I lean on you a little bit? Just, I know this, that C in the definitions has been a concern. We've had good conversation. Give me your thoughts on the verbiage as to how you read that. Like, you're way more versed at this than we are.
For which one?
C.
On C?
See?
Yeah.
I think the intention is that it's separating what would otherwise just be a supplier, a commercial. We have plants that we purchase and then we resell them. We're gonna
Right.
grow them on site. And to be a nursery or a greenhouse, you would be growing plants, product on site.
And then just a percentage, and that way you're saying a percentage?
It's not listed as a percentage.
Yeah.
It's not. I guess that's,
That's
I would
only
say-
the right to farm act is the percentage.
but I hate to be difficult with this, but I can't let go of it, the fact that there may be things that you grow 80 items, but there might be 10 items that you want to purchase and add to the sale of what you're doing. And I guess my question is, are we restricting that? And is that what we want to do, is restrict that?
I
I
don't
don't
see
think
a
we're
problem
restricting
bringing
anything.
everything in.
I don't think we're restricting anything, we're keeping it kind of open. It just says they must grow goods and materials offered for sale. It doesn't say like they have to grow all their goods, it doesn't say they have to grow 1% of their goods, it just says they
Yeah, I
must
feel
grow.
like it's leaving it up for interpretation. I guess that's where I'm
I'd say they wouldn't
kind of
have to
struggling with it is,
necessarily grow
doesn't say you can, doesn't say you can't.
Keep it alive.
and I guess
And it all
that's the
depends on how
problem, is
the
it's
person
kind of
goes.
elusive here. But if you're gonna say you have to grow all your product, you're gonna eliminate anybody practically. from
Exactly, which I know we
qualifying.
don't necessarily want that.
And I don't think we want that.
Right.
So it needs to be something broad. I don't like that wording either, but it,
But maybe it's
But-
actually doing, and that's why I was kind of asking for Jacobson.
I just, okay, so I don't understand how it could be considered a nursery if the plants, shrubs are not grown on site. How would it?
probably half the nurseries are all brought in.
That's all sprouts.
They buy them from a wholesaler, place them on site and sell them.
Or you could
That's a
take,
lot of the bigger.
Take Board Iron,
Versus-
grows all their stuff up there,
Exactly.
but they have other outlets. that
You
they
have
can
it in a green.
And my guess is even Bordines grows a lot of their trees, or has buys have already partially grown.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah,
grow those
everybody
from
was talking
seed.
at one time,
We're
so
arguing over this, but I didn't, we need to.
I need to know what they.
Yeah.
All right, we'll come back to this next meeting, but that's the part, we all have a problem with C, so.
I just,
we need to work on
and
that.
I'm okay leaving it like it is. I feel like I just need a better understanding of what it is.
In the audience.
Sorry.
Can I say something? That building with all the setbacks,
Wait, we have public,
sir.
again,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, we're supposed to do
Absolutely,
that.
public hearing time.
And we'll let you talk.
There'll be a spot for it. There'll be a spot for it.
Yeah,
Promise.
we're not doing a very good job staying together as a tradition either, talking about this.
Yeah, come on, Chairman.
Well,
Well, I just-
yep, all right. Next meeting, we'll discuss that again. So we're off-street
Yep.
parking requirements.
Okay.
Leslie, do you have something else?
I think I'm sorry about moving, I didn't realize we were moving on, but
Yeah.
I think there was discussion about the definition of the nursery. The definition of the nursery doesn't say anything about the plants having to be
Grown
grown
on
there.
site.
No.
Hey, we'll
I
further
just-
define that.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, on to off-street parking. And what brought this up, I guess
I
we
was
should
thinking
ask.
that,
Can we have the backstory behind?
yeah, well, I didn't know it was a topic.
Karen, do we have a background for the
I
off-street
guess-
parking? What has brought this to our attention, or?
It was the plaza where, there's multi-tenants, and there may be a prospective tenant that is only there during the weekend.
Mhm.
We have this was a proposed, like an event center during the weekend where the other businesses were closed.
Oh, we did talk about
Able to
this.
swap the parking.
That's
in
part of the reason for our
different
plaza is to
parking.
have different time periods so that so the parking's shared between the other.
We're just strict and we don't have the flexibility to look at that and make those determinations.
Oh,
So this just gives us the ability to change required parking spaces, but there's nothing here that says it's automatic. It would have to be a case by case.
And we have certain structures and properties that are this close to being adhering to our guidelines, but based on what the businesses and that are gonna be in there, why would we not have the ability to shrink it by 5% and make it applicable? 4-to-1 ratio and going to say a 3-to-1 ratio allows them to have enough parking spaces because they can't acquire next to them to make it work. This gives us a little bit of flexibility to help that business come in and be developed in a positive way for the community. So I remember talking about this. This is a good, I like that we have some flex to be able to make sure that what somebody's trying to do in our limited restrictions, we could make it work.
Yep.
You know, you've got somebody that has all of 6 cars all day that show up. It's hard to penalize them to have 24 parking spaces when they never have, nobody comes, you know, very few.
all right, we just want to schedule this for a public hearing then.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
We like that. I think the board commission believes in that. And then,
I feel better about tonight being productive now that we've moved forward on something. I'm just gonna say that out loud. Sorry.
all right. And propose amendments to the planning commission review procedures.
So all this does is change it from 21 days to 28
Yes.
days. This is solely because, considering the 15-day advance publication and then the requirement to the newspaper being between the week
Yeah.
and 10 days.
Yeah, we dealt with this
We
last.
talked about this too, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this was good.
Now, is this something we can approve as a commission? No?
Public.
They have to go to public hearing
It's
as well.
public hearings.
Okay.
Okay,
Public hearing for those.
Another public hearing.
yeah.
Scheduled for that one then. We
So
have
are
two
we doing
pub-
a public hearing on the nurseries, all three of them, you think, next time?
Yeah,
Even though we don't have the nurseries worked out right now, but we can work that out when we get there. Okay,
Because we can still not
sure.
necessarily pass it after public hearing, but
Right.
we just have to have a public hearing at some point in
Okay.
time.
and that
Data
gives us
centers,
time
we want
between
at
now
least
and
wait
then
one
to,
more. That one needs its whole meeting for that one.
Yeah.
We'd rather for me, I agree.
That one could have a few people discussing that. All right,
all right.
reports. Any reports from commission members?
I wanna go back to the nursery,
Oh,
sorry.
sure.
Okay.
I saw,
can tell, that's why I was
we
like, oh,
wound
you
you
were
up, now
struggling.
we got you going, right?
Hold a public hearing.
The word, all right, so in nursery greenhouse, the definition, the word propagated.
Yes. Because that's what I sat here and looked up as well.
Which is a-
I didn't.
yeah.
Google.
And then the example earlier of, I don't know exactly how it's worded. Bringing plants in from another site and selling them. That's why there is a definition for nursery dealer there, and nursery dealer is not put into this 32-153. We're defining nurseries. I mean, am I way off here, or?
I still don't see what the propagated, what you were reading doesn't say that, I don't read that as being something that is grown there. It's being reproduced, which cuttings, I mean, you split a plant, that's a cutting, that's not, I mean. So I see where you know what I'm saying, the propagated, I know, because I kind of looked it up as
mean,
well.
While it's there, I mean, technically it's growing every day.
Yes,
Right.
but not,
Obviously, it's not in its original place. That's why
Exactly.
It's a greenhouse. That's why it's the equipment's necessary to keep things alive.
mm-hmm,
But yeah, as long as that's okay. I know we got a lot of people in the area that are bringing a lot of things in, like, Christmas trees are brought in. I mean, going, not in Holly Township, but going over into some other farms, they farm their stuff somewhere else and they bring it to the greenhouse and then they put it to road for sale. And then they keep things alive there for the sale, but obviously not everything's grown on site. That's kind of a normal thing,
Yeah, and when I go back
Grow some off
to,
there.
when I go back to B,
Yeah, pretty good, yeah, a little
it
taller.
talks about
Yeah,
the
exactly.
storage
They
of
get
soil,
taller.
fertilizer,
Let Chuck
and
speak.
similar loosely packed materials. Those typically aren't created there.
Yeah.
They're bought and brought. Unless I'm
Yeah,
way
but
off
they-
base. I'm not a farmer, but
But they've
I know they
defined-
can create some fertilizer, but that's typically specifically developed.
greenhouse. Yeah, they got the,
And then they would purchase
just-
that and bring it to, on site as loose product.
I don't know. So they're making,
To prevent that from being a nuisance to other properties.
yeah, it's not saying it,
Reason for
yeah.
that line existing.
I get what B is for, but it talks about a product that would not necessarily be, again, grown on the property. It would be
right,
purchased and brought to site.
All right, we just need to talk about that at the next meeting, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
Our ideas better together on that, but.
yeah.
well,
Yes.
there's three definitions, right? Farm building, nursery greenhouse, and nursery dealer. And the nursery greenhouse means that they're planting stuff and growing stuff for sale.
I
A
don't see
nursery
planting.
dealer is a separate definition.
oh, that's why, so it's,
I don't see planting
right
though
there.
in-
so it's
Right.
not nursery dealer, it excludes nursery dealer on C.
Yes,
It just makes you a nursery dealer.
yes.
No, that's fine then.
So
Yeah.
So-
Word is sort of.
the definitions above give us more clarity on,
Yeah, that's fine, it doesn't
so that
say
this
it's
is
a
not
nursery
just restrictive to the nursery itself. Or that it is, I mean,
dealer. It should be slash, this is, so it looks just.
because
like
it would be a nursery deal.
All right.
I guess it
We're gonna
would.
be, sorry, but
Okay.
we keep getting off topic
Okay.
here too.
farm building.
All right, we're to public comment, I believe, so I don't see a microphone, but you still need to get up. You're limited to 3 minutes.
There's a little mic
Oh, a little bit?
that should pick up if you stand there.
Okay.
There is a
Oh,
mic.
okay.
Okay.
Your name and address, and you're limited to 3 minutes, please.
Ron Dennis, 3080 Grange Hall. I was reading today on the rules of Holly Township and the PUD. And I was informed that your township Township does not accept PUDs, but in your rules, you do. And I was wondering, we had a mediation when a PDA was accepted by the lawyer for years and mine. And I'm just wondering why it wasn't accepted and carried through with. You have an explanation for that?
We can't necessarily give back and forth in this, so.
Well,
we
the
can kind of-
PUD was, we went through a mediation, your lawyer and my lawyer, we went down to Troy. We went in and your lawyer, Karen was there, everybody agreed. I was to take out the pavers in the front, the display, and move everything to the back. And I did it. I abided by my side. And then 6 weeks later, they come back and say, well, we don't accept PUDs. But I go through you guys' definition, and you do. That's on the internet. And I'm just wondering why I'm still in court over this when this was settled 4 years ago. That's all I got to say. I really don't understand it. I've paid, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to fight this when this was already taken care of. Maybe you guys can answer it for me.
I don't know.
I could put up fences that says it right in your PD, it's crazy. I get treated like I'm a second-hand citizen, and I don't know. I don't like it.
All right, next.
James Gross, 11523 Dixie Highway. Here for feedback. I don't know if this plan issue gets a ton of feedback, but I'm here about the data center special zoning ordinance that we're looking to stand up. I reside in near the industrial master plan zoning district, so this is something that is very important to our family. For reference, 500 to 1,000 megawatts is a typical power plant. So we're saying that anything that is 10% or less of an entire coal-fired power plant is kind of where that limiter lies. But there's something that I would like to highlight as we're building the zoning ordinance. These usually stay unchanged for a long time, but Moore's law says that compute power doubles every 2 years. And when compute power doubles, the amount of energy that's required is half, right? Double, take half away. So I think that the things that we should look at seriously are generator and turbine emissions, both from a pollution standpoint. Kerosene doesn't burn very clean. It's not bad when you're up there in the atmosphere, but when you're on the ground, it stinks and it's poisonous. There is thermal emissions that come from these buildings that I think we need to look to regulate. Surrounding areas, some of these data centers are 10 degrees to 15 degrees hotter than it would be further away. So that's some feedback. The very few jobs created to me still, we build a 15, 20, 30 acre building and 2 people work there long term. Yeah, we get the jobs up front. And then, there's all the equipment that's in there that's very valuable the first year. But remember, it's a business. They're going to write that down and appreciate it. And as computer equipment ages, like I mentioned, Moore's law, 2 years, compute power doubles. The price of that, or the value of that equipment just plummets, right, as it ages. So that's something that we also have to consider when we look at it from a value add perspective, right? The other thing, and I still owe you guys some of this, I did do some research around infrasound. Infrasound, and as an engineer, this is things we play with, right? If there's a piece of equipment that needs to make noise, like a turbine, and there's certain ordinances that limit the decibel level emitted, well, maybe I make it make noise in a decibel range that's not audible to the human ear, but it still can be harmful at very high levels, and that's what infrasound is. It's a inaudible tone that actually causes physical harm, causes, hardening of the arteries, it can cause a sense of just pure dread in people, right? It's kind of like that weird, eerie feeling that you get when you're and they measured wind turbines. So the frequency that those generates infrasound, and that's, I think, what causes some people that live near the wind turbines to have some health issues, maybe some ungood feelings about it. So just some feedback on that, and the very last question of public comment is talking about nurseries and things. We have this agro-residential requirement to say to meet that district. It's a 10-acre restriction. I don't fully understand that. Maybe there's some history there, but I feel like to run a nursery or a greenhouse, you don't need a full 10 acres, but maybe for the setbacks or something, I'm not quite sure. But something to think about as we're moving things around, right? This is the time to bring those things up. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, James.
Yeah, thank you.
Any further public comment? Anything from the board before we adjourn? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Second.
Moved by Derek, second by Ray. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. We're adjourned.
So where were you?